Chapter 401, Not a Proper Riddle. Ahead we saw deer tracks, yet just now at this place there was no trace, so why cannot we see any deer now? Louis Mang asked again. Louis Mang, do you have 100,000 whys? Louis Thursday said with a twitch at her mouth and stayed silent. Sister, I am not confused, this is called curiosity. Louis Mang said seriously. Louis Thursday pulled at her eye corner and almost wanted to rap her sister's head. This is simple, the herd may have a suitable resting spot nearby, or this place has a predator of deer. Sua Phong said in a low voice as he glanced toward the hiding place outside. Predator of deer? Wolves or red wolves? No Tin Noyet asked curiously. Maybe also feline predators. Sua Phong said softly, then slowly stood and walked out of the hiding place. He felt a sense of danger being triggered, but after a moment it vanished. Van Han frowned slightly and asked, Sua Phong, what is it? His inner alertness did not relax, but the sense of danger had no clear source, indicating the present scene was still safe, which made him doubt what had triggered that feeling. After half an hour, the second pot of goat and bean soup had been eaten. I hope the blizzard will stop tomorrow. No Tin Noyet added another log to the fire, noting that little Tuet could still move. I do not know, perhaps it will stop. Sua Phong kept watch toward the hiding place and paid close attention to the dark trees outside. The shelter lay beneath a steep cliff, one side faced a hot spring, the other faced the forest. Sua Phong, you have not soaked in the hot spring, what a pity. Van Han said softly. Sua Phong curled his lips and teasingly asked, so you want me to soak together with you? I never said that. Van Han blushed and shot him an angry glance. There will be a chance later. Sua Phong smiled lightly. Then why do we not move our shelter here? Louis Mang asked casually. First, the coast is too far. Second, rebuilding a sturdy shelter takes time. Third, this place is not as safe as you imagine. Fourth, Sua Phong listed several reasons in turn. I see, but what do you mean that this place is not safe? Louis Mang asked, full of doubt. I suspect the deer herd does not stay here long because there are predators. Sua Phong said in a low voice. Is that not very dangerous? Louis Mang's long lashes trembled as she shrank deeper into the shelter. There is fire, do not worry, I will stand guard tonight. Sua Phong waved his hand. Take turns, you need to sleep too. Van Han urged. Yes, with 6 people taking half-hour turns, dawn will come quickly. No Tin Noyet agreed. That sounds enjoyable. Louis Mang chuckled. Soon it will pass, the hair is not yet completely dry. Van Han shook her long hair. While cooking dinner she worried about hair getting in the way and fussed with it until the meal finished, the strands still soaked. Let's play guessing words to pass time. No Tin Noyet suggested. Good, do not make the riddles too hard, I am very strong at this. Louis Mang's eyes shone and she sat up excitedly. Do not underestimate me. Louis Mang snapped. Listen to this, bite once and the oxtail falls, guess a character. No Tin Noyet thought then said quietly. Louis Mang smiled triumphantly and answered, too easy, it is Foxdot. Ah, so quick. No Tin Noyet was surprised and continued, a person takes off clothes, it puts on clothes, a person tips a hat, it captures the hat, guess an object. Sua Phong furrowed his brow, the answer seemed simple. Hat, right? Van Han answered first. Correct, you are sharp. No Tin Noyet praised. You made it too easy. Sua Phong smiled, these riddles felt like elementary school level. No Tin Noyet stuck out her tongue embarrassed and urged, then Sua Phong give one for us to guess. All right, Sua Phong give one. The girls all spoke in turn. Ahem, good. Sua Phong cleared his throat, thought, and softly said, fluff up a warm blanket, touch on the thigh, push out 2 thighs, place on the eyes, guess a daily object. Sua Phong, Are you sure this is a proper riddle? Louis Meng blushed. It sounds not proper. No Tin Noyet barked. Ahem, it's a proper riddle, do not overthink. Suafeng's mouth twitched, he could only picture that because he had once seen it on a website. Suafeng half smiled, if he spoke the answer everyone would understand. Fluff up a warm blanket, touch on the thigh. Van Han blushed, a vivid image formed. Push out 2 thighs. Chi Wei Ding frowned, wondering the answer. If not, I will change it. Suafeng probed. Suafeng frowned, the riddle had embarrassed the girls. Laughter and teasing filled the room. This is not a proper riddle, I suspect Suafeng is teasing, but I have no proof. This riddle is too simple, want me to tell you the answer? Shut your mouth, or I will make you my private account. Chapter 402, You Misunderstood. He tilted his head, watching the girls frown. 5 minutes had passed since the riddle was spoken. Well, should we? So Phong pressed his lips and spoke. No. Van Han waved her hand, feeling the answer was close. We want it ourselves. Lu Weimong lowered her head, thinking it would be shameful not to solve it after boasting before. He glanced outside the dark hideout, only snow fluttered and branches swayed in the wind, no danger appeared. Spread the legs, indecent. Lu Weimong muttered. So Fong's mouth twitched, still tangled on this. So Phong, is it a compass? No Tin Noyet asked. No. So Phong shook his head. Not? But it also spreads 2 legs. No Tin Noyet whispered, bowing to think more. NK books. So Phong smiled bitterly, this riddle was easy. He knew their focus was on the first lines, but the key was behind. Te Vai Din frowned then asked softly, So Phong, is it glasses? Correct. So Phong grinned, finally someone answered. Is it glasses? Lu Weimong exclaimed. Of course, recall the answer. So Phong sighed. Lift the blanket. Lu Weimong read softly, then her face lit up. It really is glasses, should have thought earlier. Lu Wei Thursday sighed. Vai Din's sister is amazing. No Tin Noyet praised. Really, such an indecent way to describe glasses. Van Han scolded, pinching So Fong's waist. You misunderstood. So Phong teased. No, clearly you tricked us. No Tin Noyet rolled her eyes. Again, I do not believe we cannot guess. Lu Weimong shouted. The last one. So Phong said seriously. No more indecent riddles. Van Han warned. So Phong nodded, then said softly, young wife giving birth, guess a 4-word idiom. Spitting blood on others. Lu Wei Thursday blushed. So Phong. The girls stared at him. Cough, not it. So Phong quickly shook his head. Fine. The group agreed, feeling amused despite the wilderness. Nearly an hour passed, they had tried all they could think, then grew bored. So Phong stood and stretched, it is late, let us rest. We have only 2 sleeping bags, but 6 people, how to sleep? No Tin Noyet bit her lip. Sleeping bags are large, each can fit 3. Lu Weimong murmured. But, So Phong. Lu Wei Thursday glanced shyly. You sleep, I guard the night, perfect solution. So Phong frowned. No, together we share hardship, we take turns. Lu Weimong refused, then suggested, I and Van Han, So Phong with us, Van Han in the middle. Lu Wei Thursday narrowed her eyes at her sister. Is that okay? No Tin Noyet hesitated. It is fine, I trust So Phong. Lu Weimong said sincerely. You make me sound like a beast. So Phong smiled bitterly, already arranged. Then, 2 per shift, no worry about sleeping bags. So Phong proposed. Good idea, let us do that. No Tin Noyet agreed. That is fine too. Lu Wai Mong nodded. We will guard first. No Tin Noyet said, unwilling to sleep yet. Yes, when the moon reaches that spot, wake me. So Phong pointed to the sky, calculating near dawn. Okay. No Tin Noyet gestured okay, assuring the group. The Lu sisters stretched, pulled out sleeping bags and spread them. Good night, remember to wake me. Lu Wai Mong reminded. Good night. Van Han and So Phong entered another bag. No Tin Noyet and Te Bai Din sat by the fire, holding axes, adding wood to the blazing flames. Time passed, the moon moved toward So Phong's mark. No Tin Noyet yawned, stretching to stay awake. Tin Noyet, you can close your eyes for a while, I will watch. Te Bai Din whispered. 2 minutes later, she leaned on Te Bai Din, eyes closed, breathing evenly. Time passed again, So Phong frowned in his sleep, then opened his eyes. He turned to the girl, gently pinched her nose and shook, little lazy cat, time to wake. She rubbed her eyes, mumbling, is it time? Chapter 403, do you want to bathe in the hot spring with So Phong? All right. Van Han murmured softly, raising her arms to stretch her waist. She carefully slipped out of the sleeping bag, glanced at the Lu sisters still sleeping soundly, then tiptoed to the entrance of the shelter, hugging her clothes as she sat by the fire. So Phong was already dressed, sitting cross-legged by the fire, tilting his head as he whispered, you all go to sleep. Van Han stroked her slightly shy face, smiling as she said, go to sleep quickly. All right. Wu Tingyu answered drowsily, crawling into the sleeping bag with Chi Wei Ding and closing her eyes. Van Han raised her lips, yawned, stretched her hand to the fire, murmuring, the earthen bed is still the most comfortable. What is it? Van Han tilted her head curiously. So Phong patted the ground in front of him, speaking softly, sit here. Van Han stood, walked over, and sat before him. You should sleep more. So Phong wrapped his arm around her shoulder, pulling her into his chest, pressing her back against his solid chest, curling in his embrace. So Phong, are you not tired? Van Han blushed, leaning on him, her body much warmer. Not sleepy. So Phong smiled gently, resting his chin on her head. Then I am not sleepy either, I will stay with you. Van Han whispered with a smile. All right. So Phong's lips curved slightly, his fingers stroking her hair. Time passed slowly, after half a watch his steady breathing filled the air. He glanced down, the girl had closed her eyes, breathing evenly in deep sleep. So Phong chuckled softly, reached for a log, then leaned to add it to the fire. He lifted his gaze to the sky outside, the snow had lessened though the wind still roared. A command rang in his mind, mark. A virtual screen appeared, showing day 30 glowing. So Phong smirked, muttered, just one more day, what gift will the second month bring? Today was his 58th day in the wild, the system marking 60 days meant 1/6 of a year had passed. 307 days remain. He pressed his lips, sighing inside, feeling a year passed too slowly. He looked out into the darkness, estimating the storm would stop by dawn. Time slipped, snow subsided, so Phong leaned at the entrance with half-closed eyes, the fire still burning, silver-white gleaming at the horizon. The girl in his arms slept soundly, not waking once. NK Books. Lu Wai Meng turned in her sleeping bag, her brows twitching before her eyes snapped open. She sat up, fixed her clothes, put on shoes, and stepped out, the silver horizon dazzling. So Phong, why did you not call me up? Lu Wai Meng pouted angrily. You are awake. So Phong opened his eyes, smiling, he had only dozed a while. No. Lu Wai Thursday also woke, having slept early, she now rose without sleepiness. Good. Van Han rubbed her face, rose from his arms, and dazedly crawled back into her sleeping bag. So Phong, you should rest too. Lu Wai Thursday spoke gently, dressing neatly, and sitting by the fire. No, I will soak in the hot spring. So Phong grinned, daytime was not convenient, now was the chance. Hot spring bath now? Lu Meng exclaimed softly. Yes, it has been long since I bathed properly. He answered lightly. So Phong glanced, the Lu sisters were watching curiously. His lips curved, he stripped his cloth shirt, then his fur coat, then his trousers. He chuckled, removed the fur pants too, hesitating before keeping only undergarments for the spring. Who, not wasted, so warm. He muttered, plunging into the water. Bathing in the morning spring must be pleasant. Lu Meng murmured, turning her back to the fire. No, I cannot think like that. She shook her head sternly. Lu Thursday squinted at her sister for a while before turning away. In the pool, So Phong leaned against a rock, body soaked in warm water, gazing at the brightening sky, a new day beginning. After more than half a watch, scent of meat drifted from the shelter. Lu Meng stirred the iron pot of bean curd soup, the meat in the basket. Cooked. Lu Thursday came out, covering her eyes and calling, So Phong, breakfast is ready. Coming. He replied, swam one more lap, then climbed ashore. Lu Thursday quickly turned, relieved, pulling cloth from the basket to hand him. So Phong dried off with the cloth, asking casually, have they all awakened? Yes, all up, waiting for you to eat. Lu Thursday answered gently. All right. He dried thoroughly, wrapping the cloth around his waist. She quickly turned and stepped back inside. So Phong chuckled, removed the wet underwear, dressed in fur pants and trousers, then removed the cloth. When he returned, the girls were already seated around the fire, holding clay bowls to warm. Eat, later we return to the camp. He dried his wet hair, sat down, took his portion of breakfast, eating heartily. All right. The girls chorused, picking up chopsticks to eat meat. Chapter 404, Skiing. Buzz buzz buzz. 9 drones flew through the forest, on thick snow. So Phong and the girls stepped forward, leaving a winding trail of footprints. After breakfast they packed up, left the hot spring, and walked back the same path. So Phong, do you still remember the way? Van Han asked softly, her small hand still held by him. Last night the snowstorm covered all tracks. I remember, we go this way. So Phong replied, leading the girl ahead. They walked in the forest, every few steps a tree or bush, snow-buried vines and rocks. Skiing here would hit a tree and bleed. This place is not for skiing, only on a hilltop. So Phong said quietly. At this pace, by afternoon we should reach the shelter. Lu Thursday said. So Phong chopped snowy branches, saying, but with no meat, energy is gone, stamina cannot recover, the road will be hard. As long as we get back, it is fine. No Tin Noyet breathed out, she preferred the warm earth bed over sleeping outside. Time passed, the sun leaned west, it was early afternoon. Oh no, all the fat I ate these days is used up. No Tin Noyet sat on snow, panting. Everyone stopped, found a spot to rest. Later, she took a pot and hay from her basket, preparing to make fire for water. Tavidin gathered wood. After 15 minutes the snow melted, boiling in the pot, cooling on the snow. Much better. No Tin Noyet sighed. It was her 9th day in the wild, her golden hair tied casually, her face unpainted yet delicate and fair. Growl. Her belly rumbled. After walking half a day, the morning soup was long gone. Hold on, 2 more hours of road. So Phong smiled. No Tin Noyet blushed, waving, no problem, not so hungry. Growl. Van Han's and Lu Meng's bellies also rumbled, making the girls embarrassed. Rest a bit, then walk, food awaits back there. So Phong shook his head, he had only eaten 1 bowl too. After some rest, they set out again. The sun tilted west. After 2 hours the camp appeared. We are back, finally. Lu Meng's eyes lit up, her tired face brightened, she rushed forward. Slow down, don't fall. So Phong reminded. He scanned the camp, no beast tracks, his heart eased. At last. Van Han whispered, seeing the shelter felt like home. Creak. The gate opened, Lu Meng rushed inside. So Phong and the group followed. Taevidin closed the gate. Nothing changed. Lu Waimong pushed open the wooden door, checking inside. So Phong entered, scanning left and right, saw no traces disturbed. I will cook. Van Han hurried to the stove, lit fire skillfully. She brought a pot, looked at the cauldron, sighed, all water is frozen. The stove had not burned 2 days, melted snow had frozen. She carried the pot outside, fetched more snow to boil. Eat some snacks first. So Phong tore a piece of lamb, chewing, then pushed open the door to the cultivation room. Inside was dark, the stove cold. He quickly lit it with hay and branches. Fire warmed the place. He went to the wild greens, touched the leaves, feeling ice. A bit tough. He smiled bitterly, all were the same. As heat rose, ice melted, green leaves turned soft from burst cells. NK books should still grow again. He muttered, dug soil to check roots. If roots lived, plants could regrow. We still have greens for dinner. He smiled bitterly, plucked the soft leaves. Creak. The door opened. No Tin Noyet and Taevidin entered, chewing lamb. So Phong, what are you doing? No Tin Noyet asked. Cleaning the leaves. So Phong explained. Taevidin bent down to help, carefully handling the leaves. Chapter 405, Monthly Gift Pack. Alright, Tin Noyet, bring the wild vegetables to Van Han and let her arrange the cooking, whispered So Phong, crushing the last wild leaf in his hand. Looking over, the 2 once lush plots were now bare, only a few tiny leaves the size of a fingernail survived. Okay. No Tin Noyet picked up the bamboo basket, pushed open the wooden door and went out. Not bad, the impact is not serious. So Phong lifted the hay on the shelf. The mycelium and the sawdust grew well, unaffected. He lifted all the hay, checked the bamboo troughs, only a few showed rot, the rest were fine. He added some firewood to the wall furnace, then scanned the room. After confirming nothing else, he whispered, let's go back to the shelter. Taevidin nodded and followed. Where did Tin Noyet go? So Phong asked casually, sitting by the post, picking up coconut meat to chew. Feeding the rabbit and the fawn. Van Han replied while putting cleaned wild vegetables into the iron pot. Ah. So Phong frowned, glancing at the bamboo cage hanging on the post, where Ka Dan lay gloomy. He took out 2 walnuts, crushed them and put inside. Chuck, chuck, chuck. Ka Dan jumped up, wagging its fluffy tail, happily gnawing. Taevidin watched with shining lashes, eyes fixed. So Phong smirked, reached into the cage. Ka Dan climbed onto his palm with the nut. He handed it to her, you can pet it. She hesitated, then gently touched its head. Her eyes sparkled as she held it tenderly. So Phong frowned, this pup charmed another girl. Creak. The wooden door opened. Luckily, the rabbit and fawn are not starved. No Tin Noyet and Luai Thursday entered, shutting out the cold wind. Dinner is ready. Van Han smiled, put a wild leaf in her mouth, the taste was perfect. Lu Waimong placed clay pots on the bed, inside was stir-fried vegetables and venison. Smells great. No Tin Noyet squatted down, inhaling. Eat? Van Han smiled, sat down, hungry. After a long day, they ate eagerly. The pots quickly emptied. After more than 20 minutes, 6 people leaned back, sipping hot tea. Hick. No Tin Noyet burped, after eating, I feel drowsy. She yawned, rubbed eyes, resting chin on the table. Hee hee, Tin Noyet's sister, the whole country saw this image. Van Han teased. Let them, I no longer carry diva image, she laughed. Sing a song, sister. Van Han urged. What song? She asked, fixing her golden hair. Bubble. Van Han answered quickly, she remembered it since hearing once. Sure. No Tin Noyet smiled, cleared her throat, then sang, Under the sun, the bubble shines in colors. Her voice was pure, charming, making all hum along. Viewers flooded comments, fans sent gifts. Goddess Tin is amazing, beautiful voice. Reward 8,888 fish balls, even without music, still so good. Ah, I die, too beautiful voice. Mom, my ears are pregnant, what do I do? For minutes past, she stopped singing. Truly so good, ears pregnant, praised Lu Waimong. Not so exaggerated, she blushed. They played around, Lu Wai Thursday and Taviden washed dishes, others played chess. Time flew, night deepened, under So Fong's urging, the girls bathed and lay down. So Fong, you are not sleeping yet? Asked Van Han softly. Then do not stay up too late. She pursed lips, pulled into her sleeping bag. He yawned, then stayed awake until dawn, waiting for the monthly gift pack. Chapter 406, Knew It Was Impossible. Cough cough. Nan Nu Nok covered her mouth and coughed lightly. Nu Nok, drink some mint water, it will ease your throat. Nan Ton Nok sat by the bed holding a wooden cup and spoke softly. All right. Nan Nu Nok sat up, took the cup, and the dryness in her throat was soothed. Yesterday morning, the Nan sisters went out as planned, wandering in the mountains, hoping to find new food, but in the afternoon they were caught in a snowstorm. How are you feeling? Nan Ton Nok asked with concern, gently patting her sister's back. Much better, no need to worry. Nan Nu Nok smiled, returned the cup, and lay down again. Chew a dried mint leaf, it helps with cold and fever. Nan Ton Nok offered her a piece. All right. Nan Nu Nok obediently accepted it. Sister, outside is all snow, where could we find herbs? Nan Nu Nok whispered. Nan Ton Nok tucked her in and said gently, leaves are gone, but under the snow there are roots, though harder to find. Having lived long in the mountains, she knew well the effects of herbs. Then let me go with you tomorrow. Nan Nu Nok quickly said. No. Nan Ton Nok shook her head, you still have a cold and fever, if you go into the snow your sickness will worsen, then recovery will be slower. All right. Nan Nu Nok bit her lip and muttered, am I troubling you? Silly, of course not. Nan Ton Nok was startled, then gently touched her cheek to comfort her. Really? Nan Nu Nok's eyes filled with tears. Of course, now sleep, staying up will slow your recovery. Nan Ton Nok smiled softly. What about you, will you not sleep? Nan Nu Nok asked. She wanted to guard the fire through the night, not let it die early, since her sister was ill and needed warmth. Don't stay up too late. Nan Nu Nok whispered, then slowly closed her eyes and breathed steadily. Nan Ton Nok rose, gently adjusted her sister's sleeping posture, so she would sleep more soundly. Hope tomorrow she gets better. She sighed softly, knowing finding roots under snow was easier said than done. So Phong sat near the fireplace, holding his army knife and a block of wood, carving quietly. Crack crack. The knife moved swiftly, wood chips fell, and the carving slowly took the shape of a chibi girl. Only 4 days left until her birthday. So Phong murmured, carefully carving the gentle face. He wanted to prepare a birthday gift before dawn. He quickly hid the carving behind him, glanced at the bed, and only after confirming she slept soundly did he calm down. He blew away the wood dust, hid the carving on the top shelf behind a ceramic jar, making sure she would not see it. So Phong yawned, stood, and stretched. It's almost time. He muttered, then commanded, Mark. At once, a virtual screen appeared, showing day 1 lit up, meaning the system had entered a new month. Then a mechanical voice sounded, ding. Marked 30 days, reward monthly gift pack. He immediately ordered, open monthly gift pack. Ding. Gained intermediate body enhancement potion recipe. Ding. Gained intermediate wilderness medical experience pack. Ding. Gained primary or exploration experience pack. Hearing the last, all his fatigue vanished, his spirit lifted. He quietly sat back by the fire, turned his back to the camera, added wood, and ordered, "Open the body enhancement potion recipe." Suddenly, his head felt smashed, huge knowledge and images surged in, pain-splitting. He gritted his teeth against the fireplace, enduring silently. After several minutes, the headache eased, but sweat drenched his forehead. Hoo-hoo! So Phong breathed heavily, wiped his sweat, then stood, poured water, and drank to ease his headache. So it is intermediate. He clicked his tongue, this time the system was generous. Intermediate body enhancement potion recipe, what did it mean? If successfully brewed, Van Han and the others could also gain his strength, survival would be much easier. He checked the recipe materials, his face turned grim. 100-year Ganoderma, 100-year mountain ginseng. He sighed, many herbs could not be found on Xian Noyet Island, some never even heard of. He gave a bitter smile, set aside the thought, waiting for another chance. Then he commanded, "Open the Wilderness Medical Experience Pack." Chapter 407, Leisurely Survival. Ding, the Wilderness Medicine Experience Pack is being transferred. A huge amount of knowledge rushed into his head, the splitting pain appeared again, but this time it was much lighter, lasting only more than 10 minutes before fading. So Phong curled his lips, slowly digesting the knowledge he just received. Quite a lot of knowledge and prescriptions were added. He carefully sorted out the information in his mind. The intermediate medical pack still focused on using herbs for treatment, but with many more prescriptions, it could cure more illnesses. Survival in the wild is now better protected. He sighed inwardly. After digesting, he gave another command, "Open the Mineral Exploration Experience Pack." Ding, the Mineral Exploration Pack is being transferred. So Phong prepared himself, but the next second, the tearing headache struck, making him cry out softly, bow his head against the wall stove, restraining his body from trembling, avoiding the camera's notice. Nearly 20 minutes passed, the pain faded, his forehead covered with sweat. Hoo-hoo! So Phong took a deep breath, wiped the sweat, and smiled bitterly. No matter how strong the body is, it cannot resist such pain. He steadied his mind, sorted the knowledge, minerals flashed through his mind, along with mining and exploration techniques. Among them were 5 or 6 minerals such as iron ore and rock salt. Time to sleep. He yawned, threw a few more logs into the stove, took off his shoes, climbed into the bed, and slipped into his sleeping bag. No. Van Han murmured, turned, hugged So Fong's waist, rubbed her head against him, and kept breathing steadily. So Phong glanced at the girl, lips curved, then closed his eyes and drifted into a dream. Early morning, sunlight fell on the Moon Island. Van Han and the Lu sisters left the bed, busy by the stove. On the bed, So Phong opened his eyes slowly, lay still for a while, then rose, put on shoes, and stepped down. Good morning. Van Han smiled brightly. Hee, Sister Noyet, your hair needs fixing. Lu Meng teased. I will take care of it later. Noyet ran her fingers through her golden hair, already split at the ends. Today is the 10th day, not counting today there are 4 more days. Noyet calculated, they had truly survived 10 days in the wild. Time passes fast. Van Han sighed, only 4 more days before the stars return to the city. Hee, little Van Han, do you not want us to leave? Noyet asked playfully. A little, just a little. Van Han stuck out her tongue. Careful, I might not leave. Noyet pretended to threaten. Staying will add more challenge for you. So Phong, brushing his teeth, smiled. It will not be too hard, raising 2 more people is not difficult. Better if you stay, having stars as company, others cannot have such luck. Van Han smiled warmly, poured a cup of pine leaf tea, and handed it to him. No, I must return to the city, otherwise what about my fans? Noyet stuck out her tongue, then got out of bed. So Phong chuckled, she was right, news about stars was always hot, fans could go too far. Goddess please return, wilderness is too hard. Yes, goddess come back, I fear So Phong will eat you clean. Nonsense, he would not do that. If she stays, Noyet will fall into his arms. NK Books. With his charm, it could happen. Half an hour later, they sat around the bed eating breakfast. Lu Weinmeng chewed and asked unclearly, "So Phong, what will we do today?" "Clean the snow." So Phong said softly. Food was abundant now, and the snow made hunting dangerous. "Is this survival in the wild?" Noyet teased, while others struggled for food and warmth. Here they enjoyed leisure. Tivai Ding pressed her lips. This felt more like tourism. "You can practice martial arts and archery," So Phong suggested. "Yes, only that." Lu Weinmeng pouted. Training a day long might exhaust the body, especially with T supervising. Laziness was impossible. "Hee, I will make hats for you." Van Han smiled. She had processed 3 wolf skins and planned to make warm hats. "Van Han, do not make for me, I will leave soon, do not waste the fur." Noyet said softly. "But there are still some days left." Van Han whispered. 4 days will pass quickly. Noyet insisted, after staying so long, she would not waste more fur. "All right then." Van Han pursed her lips helplessly. Lu Weinmeng and the girl each took a bow and went outside to practice. So Phong took a ladder, carried a shovel, climbed the roof, and started clearing snow. Chapter 408, Nan Nunok's Guilt. Cough, cough. Inside the wooden cabin, Nan Nunok called out, "Sister, breakfast is ready to eat." She sat beside the fire, her face pale, her head dizzy, the cold and fever worse today. Creak. Nan Ton Nok pushed open the door, frowned, and said softly, "Why did you get out of bed?" "If I do not watch it, the pot will burn." Nan Nunok pursed her lips and answered quietly. The corner of Nan Ton Nok's mouth twitched, as if the pot of meat had overcooked. She took wooden bowls and chopsticks from the rack, scooped a bowl of meat soup, and gave it to her sister, saying gently, "Eat quickly, then lie down and rest." "I do not feel like eating." Nan Nunok held the wooden bowl, looking at the tasteless soup without any seasoning. "Eat at least a little, or your body will not hold on." Nan Ton Nok spoke softly. "Yes, fine." Nan Nunok blew on the hot steam, lifted the soup, and forced herself to swallow the faintly fishy taste. Without seasoning, it is hard to eat. The corner of Nan Ton Nok's mouth twitched, but she still forced herself to finish the soup. After her sister ate, she took the pot and bowls outside, washed them with snow and charcoal, cleaned everything, then returned. Nan Nunok sat on the bed, watching her sister, and asked softly, "Sister, are you going out soon?" "Yes, I will dig some medicinal roots, you should stay in bed." Nan Ton Nok took the bow and arrows from the rack and hung the woodcutting knife on her waist. "Do not worry, I will return before nightfall." She walked over, adjusted her sister's collar, then gently patted her head and reminded, "Do not leave the cabin, if hungry at noon then cook a little food." "Okay." Nan Nunok replied softly. "I am leaving, keep warm." Nan Ton Nok reminded again, then pushed the wooden door and left, heading up the mountain. Nan Nunok sat blankly on the wooden bed. After more than 10 minutes she lay down, turning her head to look at the fire. Hoo-hoo! In the forest, Nan Ton Nok scanned around, stopped under a big tree, and dug the snow with the chopping knife, hoping to find roots. She dug for more than 10 minutes, cleared the snow, revealing frozen soil. She looked once, then helplessly stood up and said bitterly, "Wasted more than 10 minutes again." The empty ground proved there were no plants, digging more was pointless. She packed her things, brushed snow from her knees, and continued climbing, stopping at possible spots to dig. Time passed slowly, the sun reached the top, meaning midday. Hoo-hoo! Nan Ton Nok breathed heavily, sat beside a tree with the basket. In it were only 2 root herbs, her whole morning's effort. "I wonder if I can find white flower snake tongue grass," she muttered. This herb grows in many places, but with snow everywhere, it was hard to find. Her lips dry, throat parched, she grabbed a handful of snow, hesitated, then threw it away, continuing to search. Time passed, the sun tilted west, she climbed to the top, looking far away. That is the sea, many competitors must be there. She gazed east, faintly seeing the blue ocean. The beach was easier to survive, but she was used to the mountains, so she stayed. From the top, she saw only white everywhere, with a few green patches. Those must be pine trees, she whispered. Looking east, she faintly saw greenery, which must be pines. She sighed, searched again, and used the knife to clear snow, seeking the last herb, white flower snake-tongue grass. Carefully, she dug and lifted one complete root. Putting it in the basket, she stood, brushed snow from her knees, and murmured, "I must return, I do not know how Knock is." She had been gone half a day, now heading back, hoping to arrive before dark. Determining direction, she followed her footprints down. After more than 2 hours, the cabin appeared. The sky darkened, the wooden door opened, and Nan Knock, wearing a hooded coat, stepped out with a torch, scanning around. "Knock, come inside quickly, it is cold." "Nan!" Knock called. "Sister, you are back." Nan Knock's worried face eased. She had planned to search. "Yes, sorry to make you worry," Nan Knock said softly, looking weary and dusty. Seeing her sister's cracked pale lips, Nan Knock felt guilty and urged, "I boiled hot water, come drink some." Chapter 409, The Coming Birthday. "Sit down quickly, your body is weak, do not run around," Nan Knock gently urged, one hand taking the wooden bowl, the other touching her sister's forehead to feel the heat. She sighed softly, helplessly saying, "The fever is worse." "It is fine, just sleep more and it will pass." Nan Knock pressed her lips and whispered. She sighed inwardly, her sister was innocent, that came from the life in the mountains with little contacts. If she had lived in the city since young, her thinking would be different. Nan Knock drank the water, then took some roots from the basket, carefully washed them with snow, and set aside. "Knock, have you had lunch?" she asked softly. "No." Nan Knock obediently shook her head. "I will cook." Nan Knock nodded, stood up, took a piece of meat from the rack, and put it by the fire to thaw. "Meat again?" Nan Knock bit her lip, staring at the venison thawing. "Yes, your body is weak, you need strength," Nan Knock replied, turning the meat to melt faster. Nan Knock lowered her head, she preferred wild vegetables, at least without the fishy smell. After half an hour, the meal was ready, still meat soup, but with mint to cover the smell. "The taste is fine." Nan Knock tasted the soup, then handed a bowl to her sister, softly saying, "Eat quickly." "Yes." Nan Knock held the bowl, hesitated, then drank. The mint flavor filled her mouth, clearing her head. Though sick, she drank the whole bowl, her hunger eased. Nan Knock also ate, then cleaned the pot, filled it with snow, and set it back on fire. As heat rose, the snow melted into boiling water. She put in herbs, pressed them down, and boiled with strong fire. After half an hour, the water turned pale green, then dark, the essence drawn out. From half a pot, only 2 bowls remained. She added wood, boiled until only 1 bowl, then carefully poured into a wooden bowl. "It looks very bitter," Nan Knock pouted, blowing on it. "Good medicine tastes bitter, drink and sleep, tomorrow you will improve," Nan Knock softly said. "Yes." Nan Knock nodded, drank the whole bowl, frowning, enduring nausea. "Hold it, do not vomit," Nan Knock gently warned. Nan Knock nodded, after a while the nausea passed. "Good, lie down, you need rest for medicine to work." Nan Knock helped arrange the sleeping bag, thinking if her sister did not recover, she would leave the contest and take her to the city. As for surgery money, she would find another way. Nan Knock obediently lay down. Nan Knock adjusted the bag, then sat by the fire, praying for her sister's fever to drop. In the eastern mountains, 4 or 5 days away. In Phong hideout, they sat around the earth bed, excitedly playing chess. "Move the chariot, that is right." Lu Waimong bit her lip, worried for No Tin Noyet. Really? No Tin Noyet was confused. She had just learned chess, many moves unknown. Fine, I will redo. She nodded quickly, reaching for the piece again. Once moved, no take back. So Fong's mouth twitched, watching her return the horse piece. Hee, only one step, no problem. No Tin Noyet stuck out her tongue, acting pitiful. Let me take one step, just one. So Phong shook his head with a bitter smile, continuing the game. After over 10 minutes, the match ended, as expected. So Phong won. So Phong, let me play. Van Han blinked adorably. Tonight she only played once. All right. So Phong laughed, pinched her cheek, and moved aside. Vi Din's sister, do you want to play? No Tin Noyet asked, recalling she had not played yet. Yes. Te Vi Din nodded, sitting down. I want to try too. She smiled slightly, set the pieces again. So Phong smirked, quietly took the carving and knife, pushed open the wooden door, and slipped into the training room. The girl's birthday was near, he must finish the carving. He sat by the fireplace, carefully carving. After an hour, his ears twitched, he hid the carving in hay, cleaned the chips, and burned them. Creak. The door opened, the girl peeked in. So Phong, what are you doing? Van Han glanced around, then softly said, I soaked coconut water, come drink. All right. So Phong calmly answered, following her back. Chapter 410, 7-Day Gift Pack. Of course it's me. Slim Van Han frowned, patted her chest, and her delicate face showed a trace of pride. Impressive. So Phong clapped his hands in agreement. Beating you is what is impressive. Van Han blushed, muttering softly. Then you need more practice. So Phong grinned, unknowingly feeling he was becoming the target all the girls wanted to surpass. I will wait. So Phong chuckled, handing over the ceramic cup. The girl pouted, accepted the cup, poured coconut water for him, then went to the wooden table to watch the Lu sisters play chess. Sister, whoever loses must give the other physical therapy. Lu Waimong said seriously. Change to another condition. Lu Wai Thursday's lips twitched, answering quietly. Lu Waimong looked regretful, thought a bit, then said, then help wash underwear? Okay. Lu Wai Thursday nodded quickly. After more than 20 minutes, Lu Waimong sat there, pouting, unable to solve the game, her pieces surrounded. The food is cold. Lu Wai Thursday said calmly. Don't rush. Lu Waimong replied without lifting her head, though she was about to lose. Lu Wai Thursday frowned. Another 5 minutes passed, waiting longer meant dawn. Lu Waimong glanced secretly at So Phong, seeking help. Give up, there is no way. So Phong put his hands down, whispering, the chess had reached a dead end. Fine. Lu Waimong pouted, unwillingly speaking. Got it. Lu Waimong muttered. All right, wash up and sleep. So Phong urged gently. Okay. The girls answered together, each taking washing items. So Phong stood up, moved the table aside, then sat by the fireplace. After half an hour, the girls finished washing and lay on the bed. So Phong, don't sleep too late, it's not good for your health. NK books. Van Han reminded softly. Got it. He replied casually, watching her bury herself in the sleeping bag, then added logs to the fire, left the hideout, and went to the training room. Time passed slowly, wind blew, he brushed off wood chips, the carving was finished. The wooden carving was exquisite, like artwork, with detailed hair and features, impossible without years of practice. She will like it. He muttered, hiding the carving between the fireplace and the cauldron. Ah. He yawned, cleaned up the wood chips, added more logs, then returned to the hideout. Soon after, the system panel appeared, showing the second day glowing. A mechanical voice sounded, ding. Marked 7 days, received 1 basic gift pack. Another 7-day gift pack? He froze, confusion gone. He calculated time, forced a smile. Unknowingly another week passed, he nearly forgot this gift. He glanced at the camera on the shelf, turned back, leaned on the fireplace pretending to rest, and ordered, "Open gift pack." Ding! One basic brewing experience pack. Ding! One basic fishing experience pack. Surprise flashed on his face, then he calmed. Ah, time to sleep. He stretched, muttered, put on rabbit shoes, climbed into bed, and slipped into the sleeping bag. The girl turned, hugged his waist, and quickly slept. He looked at her, hugged her waist, and ordered, "Open brewing experience pack." Ding! Brewing experience transmitted. Pain hit, knowledge and images flooded in, lasting 6 minutes before fading. The pack contained 8 brewing methods: fruit wine, rice wine, medicinal wine, with ingredients like wild fruits, wheat, rice. Brewing time varied, shortest 1 month, longest nearly 1 year. Are they making me a brewing master? He thought. After absorbing, he ordered, "Open fishing experience pack." Ding! Fishing experience transmitted. Pain returned, lasting more than 10 minutes. So hard to endure. He murmured. He calmed, sorted the knowledge. The pack included bait, rods, lines, environments, and crafting. Different bait attracted different fish, some only one type, explained in detail. Environments included river, lake, sea, with methods and notes. I never thought fishing had so much knowledge. He marveled, no wonder it took long. He closed his eyes, absorbed, then opened the next gift. Chapter 411, Grievance. Ding, the right arm has taken the bone-strengthening potion. So Phong could not help but shudder, then sharp pain spread through the bones of his right arm, from the shoulder down to his fingertips, each bone feeling as if struck by a hammer. He clenched his teeth, holding back a groan, sweat dripping from his forehead, lips trembling pale. The searing pain lasted more than 10 seconds before fading, and he let out a long breath, knowing that if it lasted longer he could not have endured. Waking the young girl would only cause her worry, and that was what he never wanted. Hoo-hoo! He calmed his breathing, lying still for more than 10 minutes to recover. I have become stronger. He clenched his right hand, clearly sensing the change, the difference from his left hand obvious. The same weight lifted with his left hand felt heavy, but with the right it was light, the result of strengthened bones. Though painful, the reward is worth it. He let out a faint smile. Once the sweat on his brow dried, he closed his eyes, his body and spirit utterly exhausted. At dawn, sunlight spilled onto Huin Noyet Island, and in the bamboo forest, the Zhao brothers, Tran Shi Hai, and He Xiong rose from their beds. Ah! The sun is out, good, we can go farther to explore today. Tran Shi Hai stepped out of hiding and spoke softly. Zhao Lei was stunned, asking in a deep voice, "Where do you plan to explore today?" He Xiong? Tran Shi Hai did not answer, turning instead to him. Eastward, near the sea, we may find something. He Xiong said calmly. Tran Shi Hai nodded and said coolly, "Prepare breakfast, eat, then we set off. Today we must find more food." Got it. Zhao Lei grinned. Now he and his brother were fully reliant on Tran Shi Hai, since every time food was found by He Xiong. If once the brothers themselves had found it, they would not be so dependent, forced to rely just to survive, otherwise likely eliminated by now. The Zhao brothers sat by the fire, cooking snow in an iron pot for breakfast. After more than half an hour, they finished and packed their things, leaving the hideout. Return before nightfall, let's go. Tran Shi Hai ordered, stepping onto the thick snow, heading east. The snow slowed their pace, forcing frequent stops to check direction and carve signs. This cursed place has nothing. Zhao Lei muttered, kicking at the snow, all around a sea of white, not even a single green bush. How could food be found here? We have only walked half an hour, be patient. Tran Shi Hai replied coolly. TCH. Zhao Lei gritted his teeth. That half hour felt like half a day. He rubbed his eyes, which burned painfully. In snow like this, how can we find food? Zhao Loi tugged his brother's sleeve, signaling silence. Plenty, such as snow hares and mountain goats. He Xiong answered calmly, eyes scanning, still finding nothing. Damn it, the pain is worse. Zhao Lei cursed, stopping to rub his eyes frantically. Hands down, let me see. He Xiong barked, striding over. Lower your hands. He ordered. Damn, what is happening? Zhao Lei reluctantly lowered his hands, eyes bloodshot and veined. He Xiong frowned, pried open his eyelids, and after careful inspection said, snow blindness, troublesome. Snow blindness, what is that? Tran Shi Hai asked, frowning. He Xiong briefly explained, focusing on symptoms and effects. It will not cause blindness, right? Zhao Loi asked in a low voice. Only the early stage, with rest it will not blind. He Xiong replied flatly. He had suffered snow blindness once as a soldier, after lying in ambush for 3 days in the snow, later treated in a hospital for 2 days. So what now? I cannot close my eyes and walk. Zhao Lei complained, eyes half shut, tears slipping from the corners. Their hideout had no food left, and if nothing was found today, they would all starve by night. He Xiong paused, then said, either you stay and wait, and we return for you later. Damn it, should have stayed behind. Zhao Lei grumbled, squinting ahead, his action making the choice. He did not want to starve tonight, nor be left alone. If a beast came he might die without knowing. Be careful. Zhao Loi quickly supported his brother, guiding him on. He Xiong glanced at Tran Shi Hai, already guessing most of his thoughts. After nearly 2 hours, they passed through the forest into an open field several hundred meters wide. Zhao Loi's eyes lit up, pointing at a mound opposite, whispering, there is a small hill there, should we check it? Search around here first. Tran Shi Hai murmured, silently marking the spot. The group spread out. Zhao Lei sat under a big tree, eyes too blurred to move, forced to stay. Damn it, I must regain control. He thought bitterly, with Tran Shi Hai in command, all must obey him, leaving Zhao Lei deeply aggrieved. Chapter 412, I thought you had forgotten. 3 days later, in the late afternoon, Van Han and the others were sitting on the earthen bed playing chess. How should I move next? Van Han pursed her lips, holding a captured piece, pondering. The girl was focused, facing her was Tai Vai Din. Ever since losing once, she often pulled Van Han to play again, today was no exception. Then I will trouble Sister Mong today, after finishing this game I will help you. Van Han smiled apologetically. It is fine, play a few more rounds. Lu Waimong shook her head, gave her sister a glance, then walked to the fireplace. Tai Vai Din's moves slowed, each step took longer. Van Han blinked, thought carefully, she could not underestimate her, because the loser must massage the winner, it was their bet. Lu Wai Thursday glanced about, sometimes at the fireplace, sometimes at the gate, as if something was outside. Maybe it is like this. Lu Waimong murmured, recalling what So Phong whispered yesterday. She poured honey into an iron pot and stirred. It should be fine. She muttered, glanced at Van Han still playing, then took out a mold. She whispered, it must succeed. She pressed bean paste into it, shaped a small round cake. Not bad. She covered Van Han's view, brushed honey on the cake. She found 3 resin candles, each thick as a thumb, and fixed them on top. A simple cake was done. It was So Fawn's request, since today was Van Han's birthday. She is so lucky. Mong whispered, placed the cake aside and prepared dinner. On the bed, Van Han and Tai Vai Din were still playing. Harder and harder. Van Han frowned, lost in the game. After half an hour, she finally won. I finally won. She smiled, stretched. Van Han, call So Phong for dinner. Mong served the last dish. All right, what is he doing? Why is he gone so long? Van Han muttered. Good. Lu Wai Thursday signaled to Tai Vai Din, who had dragged out the game on purpose. Creak. The door opened. So Phong stood in the yard, torches bright around him. He smiled, "Happy birthday, Van Han." Beside him were 6 snowmen, 5 big, 1 small. Their features showed they represented the Lu sisters and 2 stars. On the snow was written, "Happy birthday, Van Han. I thought you had forgotten." Van Han's lashes trembled, she rushed to hug him. "Oh, I am so touched." Her voice choked. "Silly girl, why cry on your birthday?" So Phong had not expected her to be so moved. Online viewers sent comments and gifts. "Wow, he is so thoughtful, whoever marries him will be happy." "Mom, I want to marry So Phong." "Forget it, Van Han is already his." "So touching, even in the cold he built snowmen, I must beat my boyfriend now." "I am angry, I will go punish my husband right now." "Are you not cold, standing out here?" Van Han looked up, held his hand. "Not cold." So Phong smiled, took out a wood carving. "Here, your gift." Oh. Van Han's eyes widened, she accepted it. "So Phong, did you make this?" She was shocked, because the carving was of herself, every feature delicate, all her unique traits shown. Chapter 413, The Grand Gesture. "I hate you." Van Han blushed, lightly punched his chest, yet her heart's meaning was clear. "Happy birthday to you, may you be joyful, may you be healthy, may your future be bright." The Lu sisters carried the cake out from hiding, their steps cautious. "Happy birthday to you." No Tin Noyet sang the birthday song, clapping with Tay Vai Din to cheer the mood. Van Han turned around, her face filled with happiness, whispering, "Thank you all." "Ha, this cake was made by me, come and blow the candles, make a wish." Lu Wai Mong laughed, bringing the cake forward. "All right, thank you, Sister Mong." Van Han replied sincerely, gratitude flowing from her heart. "Hurry and make your wish." A rare smile lit up Lu Wai Thursday's face. After a moment, she opened her eyes, her cheeks glowing red. The headmistress said, "If you speak your wish it will not come true." Van Han curved her lips, rubbing her face to hide her thoughts. So Phong raised his brows, he was not ordinary, he heard her wish clearly. "All right, blow the candles." So Phong urged gently, the resin candles were nearly burnt. "Yes." Van Han took a deep breath and blew out all 3. "Happy birthday!" Everyone shouted joyfully. "Thank you for celebrating with me." Her face beamed with bliss. "Cut the cake quickly, once cold it will be hard." So Phong reminded kindly. "NK books." "Yes." Van Han softly carried little Mok, followed the Lu sisters back inside, and they sat by the earthen bed. "Van Han, here is a knife." No Tin Noyet handed her a clean military knife. "I cannot wait any longer." Van Han carefully removed the candles, this was the largest birthday cake she had ever received. "I wonder how it tastes." Lu Wai Mong anticipated, the cake was made from bean dregs with coconut and honey. "Try it quickly." Her eyes shone with hope. Van Han used chopsticks to cut and taste a small piece. Delicious. She squinted, the honey blended with coconut, a special yet pleasant flavor. "Really?" Lu Wai Mong quickly took a bite. "It truly is not bad." Her eyes brightened, though not as wonderful as Van Han described. "It is fine." Lu Wai Thursday nodded, making such a cake from bean dregs was impressive. Everyone joined in, the cake was soon gone. Then the roasted meat rolls were eaten, their bellies full, they leaned back sipping hot tea. "Is this our last meal?" No Tin Noyet rubbed her belly, like a pregnant woman leaning on the low table. "Tomorrow we still have breakfast." So Phong chuckled. "I really do not want to leave." No Tin Noyet sighed, today was their 13th day, tomorrow the 14th, the last of their wilderness plan. "We do not want to part with you either, Sister Tin Noyet." Van Han pursed her lips, hugging her waist. "I will wait for you in the city, and come to welcome you back." No Tin Noyet vowed. "Haha, Other challengers will envy that. Van Han grinned.
No Tin Noyet glanced at the camera, whispered, then, do you want to be a star? I can help. No, so Phong said the entertainment world is chaotic, I would not survive, I would be devoured whole.
Van Han shook her head firmly. So Phong is right.
No Tin Noyet sighed, she knew well the chaos of the industry, without family backing she herself could not stand firm.
Tai Din thought, then said softly, I will send your gift later. Here in the wild she had nothing to give, only when they returned could she prepare. Sister Vidin, no need, your thought is enough.
Van Han quickly hugged her.
When we return, I will treat you to dinner.
Tai Din pursed her lips, also hugging the girl's slim waist.
Haha, good, once we leave the island I will visit you. Van Han smiled brightly.
Tai Din's lips curved faintly, whispering, I can come to pick you up.
Van Han, when we return I will buy you a sports car for your birthday.
No Tin Noyet hurried to say, recalling she had no gift.
Sister Tin Noyet, that is too expensive, I cannot accept, besides I cannot drive.
Van Han waved quickly, startled by such extravagance.
Then what do you want? Tell me. No Tin Noyet patted her chest, showing generosity.
Your heart is what matters, gifts are not important.
Van Han said sincerely. I see.
No Tin Noyet nodded lightly, already planning jewelry or clothes to buy when back.
Van Han, we also have nothing now, but once in the city we will invite you to a meal.
Lu Wai Thursday held her hand, somewhat embarrassed.
Chapter 414, The Final Night. Hee, who is this bed warmer for?
Wu Tingyue covered her mouth and smiled, her words carried a hidden meaning.
Of course, it is for Yun Han. Lu Yiming replied seriously. Sister Meng, don't joke like that. Yun Han smiled like a flower. Ahem. Sua Fong coughed twice and teased, a bed warming maid, that sounds nice. Sua Fong, you big pig. Yun Han blared angrily. Sua Fong frowned slightly, thinking, what about me? How about hot pot?
Wu Tingyue asked, watching the live broadcast and seeing Sua Fong and the girl eat hot pot always made her drool.
Tai Whiting nodded, indeed wanting to try hot pot outdoors. Although eating hot pot in the morning is a bit odd, it's fine.
Yun Han made an okay gesture and added, there is still plenty of meat stored, we can cook hot pot.
Great.
Wu Tingyue's eyes lit up, this was her first time eating hot pot in the wild. I'll wash the pots first.
Lu Yizhu stood to clean up. Tai Whiting also stood to help.
The girl sat on the earthen bed, caressing the wooden carving Sua Fong gave her.
Yun Han tilted her head, Sua Fong, how did I never know you had this talent? It is a natural gift. Sua Fong boasted. So thick-skinned. Yun Han laughed.
The girl covered her mouth and laughed, her bright eyes curved like crescents, then she pulled out a chessboard to pass the time. Time passed slowly, tonight the moon was especially bright, and others on Xianyue Island had fallen asleep.
Aha!
Wu Tingyue stood and stretched, revealing her slim waist.
Clean up and get ready to sleep. Sua Fong reminded softly. Okay.
The girls replied together, packing up the chessboard and dishes. Sua Fong moved the table aside and stretched, deciding to sleep early, climbing into his sleeping bag.
Good night everyone. Yun Han whispered, then hugged Sua Feng's waist. Good night.
The girls answered in unison and closed their eyes to sleep. Early in the morning, the horizon glowed silver, the sun slowly rose from the sea. Yun Han and the Lu sisters were already up, busy near the wall stove.
Meat was hung above to thaw from the heat. Make the seasoning first. Lu Yizhu murmured, chopping wild ginger and lemon, pounding them with mint. Let's make mushroom soup with St. George's mushrooms.
Yun Han muttered, adding ingredients to the boiling iron pot.
Smells so good.
Wu Tingyue woke up, rubbing her eyes and muttering, everyone is up early. We don't know when the helicopter will come, so better prepare early. Yun Han said gently, adding more firewood.
Sorry for troubling you.
Wu Tingyue said shyly.
NK
Hee,
books, hurry and wash up. Yun Han smiled. Okay. Wu Tingyue put on shoes and went to wash.
After more than half an hour, everyone washed up and sat around the earthen bed. The iron pot boiled on the stove, the table full of meat and wild vegetables Suafong picked.
Hot pot in the wild has a special taste. Wu Tingyue's eyes sparkled, she picked venison and ate. Hot pot in winter is the best.
Lu Yiming agreed, especially in snowy weather.
This wolf meat tastes strange, edible but not tasty. Lu Yiming said while chewing. They say it's like dog meat, I wonder if that's true.
Wu Tingyue said softly.
I never ate dog meat. Lu Yiming shook her head. Me neither.
The others shook their heads.
Wolf meat isn't good for hot pot, better for roasting.
Suafong said.
The table has so many kinds of meat. Yun Han sighed, venison, goat, rabbit, red wolf, boar. Bang bang bang.
Suddenly, the sound of a helicopter grew louder.
Is someone here to pick us up?
Wu Tingyue was surprised, quickly swallowing meat and running to the wooden door. She opened it, seeing the helicopter hovering, a rope ladder dropped. A middle-aged man in uniform poked his head out and shouted, Miss Wu, we are here to take you back. The man was stunned, her tone didn't sound like she wanted to leave. Tai Whiting stepped out with packed luggage.
Chapter 415, Justify this matter. Yes, in the future there will be chances to visit everyone again.
No Tin Noyet sighed softly, holding Van Han's hand and gently advised, you must protect yourself well, now you are still young, at least wait until 18 years old before that.
That? Which one? Van Han's long eyelashes trembled, stunned for a moment without reacting.
No Tin Noyet pursed her lips, thought for a while then whispered, it is with So Fong, ha ha ha. Van Han's face flushed red, she immediately understood what was meant, lowering her head like a tiny mosquito, Sister Tin Noyet, you are talking nonsense, So Fong is not that kind of person. So Fong's mouth twitched, he heard the two girls clearly, though not intentional, still embarrassed.
I know.
No Tin Noyet smiled softly.
Wait until you return. Tai Vai Din nodded lightly.
On the helicopter, the middle-aged man in uniform urged, Ms. No, you must go.
Coming, do not rush.
No Tin Noyet replied without raising her head. She took a sleeping bag from the luggage and gave it to So Fong. Leave this sleeping bag for you, I believe the director has explained to the viewers.
Be careful on the way.
So Fong said softly.
All right, thanks for these days, we will leave first.
No Tin Noyet stepped forward, suddenly hugged So Fong's waist, then turned and left with her bundle. So Fong froze, then waved goodbye. Tai Vai Din pursed her lips, hesitated, then extended her hand. The live audience room burst into excitement, barrage comments filled the screen.
I also want to feel the hug of the goddess. Am I the only one who envies No Tin Noyet? I want to be hugged by So Fong, best with legs wrapped around his waist. In front, you spoke my heart. The internet is not outside the law, count me in.
Van Han glanced at So Fong, then waved, be careful on the way.
Got it.
No Tin Noyet replied. The helicopter hovered 2 meters above the ground, snow uncleared, not convenient to land. No Tin Noyet held the rope ladder, carefully climbed a few steps, then turned and boarded.
Sitting behind, Tai Vai Din followed. Sit tight, we take off soon.
The middle-aged man reminded.
I know.
No Tin Noyet glared dissatisfied, because he came so fast that they had to leave before finishing the hot pot. The man's mouth twitched, he shut up directly. He originally wanted to wait until they finished, but the director kept urging, so he had to arrive early. Clack clack clack. The helicopter rose, heading towards the coast, then flew to the mainland. At that time, the observer Hamin held a notice related to the sleeping bag So Fong obtained. Cough, Based on the extra help So Phong and his group provided to the two observers, during this time the girls consumed meat and supplies, causing trouble, so the sleeping bag compensation is reasonable.
Vong Lam cooperated in explaining.
He had no interest in what the viewers thought, he could already guess. The barrage split into two types, one complaining unfairness and accusing the director, the other supporting the decision, mostly fans of So Phong and the girls. Of course, many were fans of No Tin Noyet and Tay Vai Din, after all So Phong cared for their idols, no reason to oppose.
They are gone,
Van Han said softly, as the helicopter disappeared.
Without them, it feels a little empty. Lu Waimong muttered.
There will be chances later, once we enter the top 3 we can return to the city.
So Phong comforted. Yes, less than 10 months, soon it will pass.
Van Han nodded, then turned back to the shelter, a hot pot not finished yet.
The Lu sisters returned too, climbing onto the earthen bed continuing the meal. Do not worry, we will finish it.
So Phong smiled, glancing at the girl.
Van Han blushed, coughed softly, cough, I'll eat more.
After half an hour, only empty bowls remained, the 4 leaned on the wall resting.
How can eating not get fat? My face is becoming like a bun.
Van Han pinched her plump cheeks. This baby fat grew after entering the wilderness.
You are just right, too thin would not suit you. Lu Wai Thursday said, a slightly plump girl looked cute, making people want to pinch.
Indeed, pinching feels real.
So Phong laughed, instinctively pinched the girl's cheek.
Van Han's face reddened, she slapped his hand, pouting, I suspect my face is swollen because you keep pinching.
Lu Waimong's bright eyes widened, surprised,
Then this is also physical therapy effect. She lowered her head at her chest, more convinced physical therapy worked. Lu Wai Thursday twitched her mouth, covered her face not wanting to watch her sisters act.
Chapter 416, Winter Passes.
Early in the morning, while still in his fur sleeping bag, So Phong slowly opened his eyes. He turned his head to see the girl hugging him in her sleep, the corners of his lips curved, then he gently laid her straight, and got up from the earthen bed. Putting on rabbit fur shoes, a command echoed in his mind, Mark. A simulated screen appeared before his eyes, the number 18 glowing. This meant they had survived in the wild for 76 days. Time passes so quickly.
So Phong whispered.
He sat down by the fireplace in the wall, skillfully rekindling the dying fire, the flames dispelling the cold. 15 days had passed since No Tin Noyet and Tay Vai Din left. In that time, So Phong had received 2 7-day gift packs. Except for 2 packs with bone-strengthening potions, the other 4 were trivial. This time, the strengthening fell on the left arm bone and right thigh bone, forcing him to endure the carving pain once more.
He stood, pushed open the wooden door, and stepped into the yard, feeling the air and murmured, today does not seem so cold. The island had gone 7 or 8 days without snow, and the cold winds were weaker. Standing still, he gazed at the drifting clouds and whispered, why does the sky seem so strange? He was puzzled, winter had only lasted less than 2 months, could it be ending? After a long look, he concluded winter was leaving. Entering the cultivation room, he saw lush wild greens, their leaves hanging down covering bamboo troughs. They grew faster than they could eat. On the mushroom side, the straw covering was lifted, the sawdust sprouted dense mushrooms. In a few days, all would be edible. We should plant them in batches, too many at once. So Phong smiled wryly. Some mushrooms were as big as a child's fist, while chicken fat mushrooms looked even better, some already edible. Van Han and the Lu sisters had risen, washing together. After washing her face, Van Han asked, So Phong, is it just me, or is today less cold? Yes, much warmer. So Phong nodded, perhaps winter was truly ending. So Phong, since it is warm, shall we go out today? Lu Waimong asked eagerly, saying they had not left the shelter for over 10 days. Go out? So Phong frowned, tilting his head at her. Where to? Van Han asked. To the beach, we have not gone for some time. So Phong replied softly. Then I will prepare breakfast. Lu Waimong happily put away her things and busied herself at the fireplace.
Nearly an hour later, after eating, they packed up and followed So Phong toward the beach. Ride my little motor in my heart, it will never be stuck in traffic. Lu Waimong sang lightly, leaving was a joy for her.
This song is quite catchy. So Phong laughed, humming along.
Lu Wai Thursday pursed her lips, glancing up at the drone overhead.
In the observation room, Min and the others were watching their live feed. Good. No Tin Noyet looked at the happy group on screen, feeling nostalgic for survival days.
Clearing her throat, she softly sang, Ride my little motor in my heart, it will never be stuck in traffic.
Tin Noyet, your tune is off.
Min chuckled. No Tin Noyet fell silent, her mind filled with Lu Waimong's version, the original forgotten. She thought, when she returns, I must teach her properly. Taevaidin watched the familiar figures on screen, a rare smile on his lips. The cold will pass, but leisure will not last long.
Von Lam murmured. Yes, only 23 groups remain, the number is few. Min sighed.
76 days had passed, and 3/4 of the contestants had been eliminated.
No Tin Noyet's dark eyes sparkled. She asked with a smile, Teacher Von, among the 23 groups, which are most likely to last to the end?
Von Lam's lips twitched, he answered solemnly, So Phong with the Lu sisters, also Nantan Nak and Tran Chi Hai.
Yes, the top 3 should be among them. He nodded.
Tin Noyet, which group do you favor?
Min asked curiously. He, of course So Phong.
With the little girl, and the Lu sisters.
No Tin Noyet answered quickly.
You and I think alike, then let us see who can last to day 287.
Min concluded. Chapter 417, Utrima Tenu Delicacy.
The summer shore snow has melted.
Lu Waimong stepped forward, lowering her gaze to the rocky beach once covered in snow.
The temperature changed too quickly. So Phong whispered, usually the sun felt weak, yet today it felt warm.
This island is so strange. Lu Waimong murmured. Come on, let us head over there and see if there is another sandy beach. So Phong suggested softly. That way seems close to the saltwater marsh. Van Han said seriously.
We should walk along the beach, not toward the marsh. So Phong advised.
That is better. Van Han sighed in relief.
The 4 of them walked left along the shore, toward the southeast. The path was hard, branches and snow everywhere, ready to scratch the careless.
This is harder than walking in the forest. Lu Wai Thursday muttered, cutting branches while keeping balance on hidden stones. Taking this detour wastes too much energy.
So Phong said in a low voice, pointing into the woods.
Let us cut through and circle around. All right.
The girls replied together, following carefully behind. After more than 20 minutes, they reached another stretch of shoreline.
It is a hillside, no beach. Van Han peered down, waves crashed against glossy cliffs. Be careful, do not go too close.
So Phong pulled her back from the edge.
I will be careful.
Van Han stuck out her tongue, legs trembling at the sight below.
Let us move ahead a bit more, if nothing shows up we will return.
So Phong held her hand as they moved on.
Out of curiosity, Lu Waimong cried out, So Phong, what is that black heap, is it dung and urine? NK
She
books.
pointed to a snowy bush, or a dark pile lay surrounded by messy tracks. That is wild boar dung and urine, fresh from this morning.
So Phong examined it. Judging by the size, the boar is large, bigger than the one we hunted before. Hunters can judge wild boar size by droppings and tracks. It looks like dark chocolate.
Lu Waimong grimaced, kicking snow over it. Do not say such comparisons again.
Lu Wai Thursday held back the urge to scold, wondering how she would face chocolate now. Oh, what is this?
Lu Waimong crouched, digging out a greenish shard from the dirt.
Let me see. So Phong took it, sniffing in surprise. Eutrema tenue, what is that? Van Han asked curiously.
This plant is also called mountain mustard, snow herb, or cold spinach. On the world market it is rare and precious, grown only in limited climates, making it very expensive. It is rich in nutrients, boosts immunity, and has antibacterial, anti-cancer, and antioxidant properties.
Many confuse it with mustard or horseradish, but they differ. Mustard comes from crushed seeds, very pungent, often making one cry. Horseradish is cheap, used for spicy condiments.
Compared with horseradish, Eutrema tenue is milder, more refined, its flavor fading quickly but leaving a sweet fragrance. Perhaps it is a variant, damaged by frost yet preserved by the cold. So Phong guessed, biting off a small piece.
Search the snow around, see if there is more. He stored the rest away. Though some was gnawed by wild boars, trimming it left edible parts. If we find more, it will give us another spice.
Van Han said eagerly, avoiding the dirty spot to dig.
Fish would make it better.
So Phong muttered, glancing at the sea.
I found it, many roots here.
Lu Waimong cheered, brushing aside snow to reveal Eutrema tenue tubers, their leaves withered, only the roots remained.
Chapter 418, Hell Seafood. Perhaps this is Eutrema tenue, its pungent spicy taste makes it unappealing. Sua Phong chuckled, thinking of the boar's keen nose and foraging instinct, surely they would dig up everything to eat. But because this herb is too sharp and pungent, he guessed the boars abandoned the snow here. Watch me pull them all out. Louis Mang rolled up her sleeves, used a military knife to dig out the plants. 8 stalks, enough for a while. Van Han smiled happily, gathered them all into the bamboo basket, already planning dinner recipes. Here are a few more. Louis Thursday whispered, revealing some more under the snow. Dig them all. Louis Meng shouted with vigor, helping dig them out.
They spent nearly half an hour, harvesting quite a lot. Seems finished. Van Han nudged the snow, all possible patches cleared, only the spot with the buried dark chocolate remained untouched. With the intermediate body strengthening potion, his strength rose to around 800 pounds, then 3 bone potions boosted it by nearly 100 more. Soon we may find the beach, catching fish should not be too hard. Sua Phong murmured, praying for a stroke of luck to spice up his meals. You must not go underwater. Van Han warned sternly. With you watching, how dare I? Sua Phong laughed, wrapping an arm over her shoulder as they walked together. You make me sound so fierce. Van Han blushed, glanced, then gripped his strong hand. Fierce, little fierce mouse. He teased. You are the fierce mouse. She pouted. The Lu sisters behind twitched their lips, goosebumps rising despite the warmth, clearly witnessing public affection. I cannot bear it, I will retreat and return later. Single dog receives 10,000 critical damage. My goodness, dog food falling from the sky, no defense. Such public affection, do you not feel guilty? I never thought Sua Phong was so serious, but I like this side. After over 20 minutes, the view opened up, the shoreline sparse with trees. No sandy beach, only rocky ground. Sua Phong halted, looking down. Below stretched a wide rocky shore, odd reefs scattered, tide still low in the morning, much of the rocks dry. From above, many tide pools of various sizes could be seen. Shall we go down? Louis Mang asked softly. Yes, find a path, those pools may have fish. He nodded, scanning the cliffs. Sua Phong, over here is a way down. Louis Mang waved. Beside her was a sloped cliff, with rocks jutting out as footholds. Sua Phong hurried with the girl, peering down. I will descend first, you follow carefully. He instructed. Yes, be careful. Van Han whispered. Got it. He climbed cautiously, stopped on a ledge, waved, come down. Van Han, you go first. Louis Thursday said softly. Okay. Van Han descended, Sua Phong steadied her to safety. The cliff only 7 or 8 meters, yet they spent nearly 20 minutes to reach the shore. Be careful, stones are slippery, Phong warned, as they were often soaked in seawater.
Understood,
the girls replied.
Go check over there, pools might have fish.
He pointed near the sea, soon to be covered by the tide.
He wanted to search quickly.
Phong stepped on the rocks, many shellfish clinging, mostly goose barnacles, sometimes stone snails.
Hope to catch fish, he muttered. Finding goose barnacles proved good water quality, fish would be clean.
Goose barnacles, called dog claw snails, with sharp tips like claws, hence the name.
They thrive in clean seas, clustering in cracks.
In the West, they are called seafood from hell, showing their taste.
TV said goose barnacles taste great, I will try some, Phong said. Indeed delicious, I tried before. Louis Meng agreed, excited, squatted, and pried them out. I will go ahead, do not wander, he instructed, moving toward the water.
Okay. Van Han crouched, prying stone snails, preparing dinner.
Chapter 419, Sashimi.
The rocky shore with reefs connected formed tidal pools when the sea receded. Phong crouched before one pool, looking at the clear water where everything inside was visible.
Empty.
He pressed his lips, stood up, and moved to another pool. Some pools were small as a palm, some as wide as a few meters, and before him was a large pond.
He stopped, bent down, and smiled. Fortune still favors me.
In the 4-meter-wide pond swam a fish almost half a meter long, which panicked and stirred the once clear water. Phong removed his rabbit-skin shoes, then took off the cumbersome fur trousers, rolled up the legs, and carefully stepped into the pool.
Still cold,
he muttered, the water just reached his knees. He frowned, rolled up his sleeves, leaned down, eyes fixed on the murky water, waiting silently. Without hesitation, he thrust his hands in, grabbing the spot he judged. Water splashed, his hands clutched the fish's head and tail, catching it.
This pool is only this big, where can you run?
He smiled, looking at the fish, assured there would be sashimi tonight.
Ah!
Lu Waimong heard the sound, turned, and cried out.
Phong, you caught a fish? Ah, caught a fish? Van Han and Lu Wai Thursday stood up together, startled, dropped the shells into the basket, and carefully walked over.
Careful, do not slip,
Phong quickly reminded.
The 3 girls stood beside, watching curiously.
What kind of fish is this? So big.
It is a sea carp, can be made into sashimi, he replied with a grin. Sea carp differ from freshwater carp, larger in size, divided into white lu and black lu, usually 30 to 40 centimeters. The white lu has a brown-green back, white belly, sides dotted with black spots.
The one in his hand was white lu. Let me slice the sashimi.
Van Han fluttered her long lashes, cutting fish was simple for her. Sashimi originated from a food-loving nation, then spread to Futang and other regions, finally becoming popular there. Experts advised cooking fish to kill parasites, as both freshwater and sea fish carried them. If eating raw, freeze under -4 degrees to kill them.
Keep it in a pool first, take it later, Phong said softly, barefoot stepping on rocks toward the cliff.
Be careful, wear your shoes first,
Van Han reminded. No need, my feet are wet, wearing now will stink, he replied casually, reached the cliff, found a high pool, and put the fish in. He stood, walked toward the shore again, seeking more. The 3 followed curiously, but after 4 or 5 pools, no more catch, only found a can in a crack. Why is there a can here? Did someone come?
Lu Waimong exclaimed. Likely washed in by tide, the sea has much trash,
Phong said, putting the can into the basket, thinking of its use.
The ocean was full of waste, the Pacific alone held 350,000 square kilometers of garbage.
Phong, what do you want with that can? Lu Waimong asked doubtfully.
Useful, very useful,
he smiled. The can is not native here, can we take it? Is it against rules? Van Han whispered. Rules do not mention it, so not against. He frowned, looking at the drone above as if explaining. Teacher Ha, is this not against rules? No Tin Noyet asked. No, the can was brought by tide, and rules did not forbid it. Ha Min shook his head. Good then. No Tin Noyet breathed out, relieved. But what can that can do? Vong Lam wondered. With his mind, it will be useful in many ways. He even made cement from ash. No Tin Noyet smiled. Let us wait, maybe he surprises us. Ha Min concluded. Keep searching, the tide is rising fast. So Phong reminded. Yes. The three answered, back to gathering shells for the seafood feast. The four waited almost an hour. Water had flooded half the reef, and within half an hour it would be submerged. Chapter 420, The Wasabi Grind. The rocky shore had nearly 100 tide pools. They had explored about 7 parts, the rest flooded by the sea. So Phong dropped a clam into the bamboo basket, then called the girls, let's go, pack up and climb. All right. Van Han quickly answered, prying the last Buddha hand snail and tossing it in. There are still plenty more over there. Lu Waimong stood up, rubbing her sore waist. Next time, today's catch is enough. Van Han smiled, the basket half full of snails, clams, and big flower crabs tied with hemp. They carried the basket along the cliff path, scooping fish from the pools as they went. You climb first, I will support you from below. So Phong moved aside, letting the 3 girls climb, ready to catch them if they slipped. They carefully stepped on rocks and climbed up. Lu Waimong followed, then Van Han, and finally So Phong. After more than 20 minutes, they returned safely to the snowy beach of 537, sitting down to rest. What a rich harvest, tonight we can enjoy fresh fish, this feels wonderful. Lu Waimong smiled at the lively fish in the basket. All right. She stood up, covered the fish with snow. Press the snow tightly. So Phong explained, this would push out the air, keeping it cold. Okay. She nodded, pressed down hard, the fish stopped moving. Oh. Lu Wai Thursday frowned, her sister seemed to use too much strength. She asked, did you crush them to death? Not sure. Lu Waimong admitted, the fish had gone still. No matter, dead is easier. So Phong laughed, waving his hand. They rested about 15 minutes, then stepped on snow back the way they came. Today's catch was plenty, time to recover energy. After an hour and a half, the camp appeared ahead. NK Books. Clean the fish first, then freeze them again. So Phong removed his wolfskin hood and hung it on a pole. All right. Van Han replied. She cleared snow from the basket, took out the fish, fetched a knife and water, and went inside. Rock snails for soup, Buddha snails, and crabs we can steam. Lu Waimong squatted, planning the seafood dishes. So Phong smiled, searching the wooden shelf for herbs. Eating raw fish with only cold sterilization was unsafe, he wanted herbal marinade. Soon he found some, sat by the wall hearth, pounding them. Together with Van Han, they coated the fish with herbal paste, killing parasites but keeping flavor. Save the sashimi for tonight, I will cook seafood soup for lunch. Van Han said, setting the pot on the fire. She cleaned the rock snails, added seaweed and oysters. After more than 10 minutes, the big soup was ready. Van Han ate a snail, then raised her bowl to the camera, smiling, so fresh, Sister Tin Noyet, Sister Vai Din, want some? Lu Waimong rolled her eyes, stuffed an oyster, mumbling, yes, plenty left, hurry and eat. In the observation room, No Tin Noyet pouted at the screen, I want to eat, you were so mean, tempting me like this. She sounded like a little sister, not a celebrity. Tay Vai Din pursed her lips, saliva pooling. Von Lam also pursed his lips, suggesting softly, tonight, seafood feast? Good, since Teacher Vong invites, of course we go. No Tin Noyet answered, mischief in her eyes. Von Lam's mouth twitched,
but he nodded calmly. My treat, eat freely.
Thanks in advance, Teacher Vang.
No Tin Noi yet grinned.
Hamin covered his mouth, hiding laughter. Sister Vi Din, you will join too? No Tin Noyet asked brightly. Yes. Te Vi Din nodded.
Time passed quickly, the sun fell in the west, light fading, sky dimming.
Van Han held a Nutrima tenu root and asked, should I peel it? No, the skin is most important.
So Phong stopped her, explaining.
The spiciness came mainly from the skin and root, peeling reduced it.
The pungency was volatile, so it had to be ground fresh to keep flavor.
I see. Van Han nodded.
Rinse it, remove dirt, then grind it into paste. So Phong guided her. After grinding, chop a few times, it will be stickier, more fragrant, spicier.
Got it. Van Han
nodded, carrying the root to the fire to
NK
follow his
books.
instructions.